But going into that, injuries, man.
Dude, I made a list. I'll just read off a couple.
Go ahead.
But we got Spencer Strider. Tyler Glasnow. This is retroactive to a few years ago, which I'll talk about.
Sure.
Justin Verlander, Justin Steele, Shane Bieber, Framber Valdez, Lance McCullers Jr., Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy, Walker Buehler, Bobby Miller, Clayton Kershaw, Sandy Alcantara, Brandon Woodruff, Kodai Senga, Shohei Ohtani, Garrett Cole,
Is he
Talon
injured right
Walker.
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Marco Gonzalez. I mean, those are just names.
Marco Gonzalez is hurt again.
Yeah. Dude. I mean,
Gonzaga's finest.
That's not even all of them.
So,
I'll
throw this on to you really quick, just kind of give you a better perspective for everyone else. Just pitchers right now listed on ESPN on the IL. Now, all of them are probably not 40-man roster players. You know, we have some players that are on the Mariners that are injured who I don't know, and that's because they're just on the roster and they're injured. There's 257 pitchers in baseball.
Wild.
That is insane amount of injuries. And so what, like, do you think it's the pitch clock? Do you think it's pitchers are getting overworked?
Yeah.
Do you think, because it's interesting to me because obviously back in the day, and I've always said this with my dad, some pitchers back in the day, Babe Ruth, Cy Young, way back in the day, they would throw 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Nine innings. Yeah. They would throw 18 innings back to back.
Insane.
Some guy, I think there was a guy who threw back-to-back no-hitters.
I don't,
you're right. I don't know that.
Yeah, I
could be wrong. I could try to find it.
Yeah.
But what do you think? You played baseball more than I did. You have a better understanding of like pitching and how your shoulder feels. What do you think?
Well, one example, I don't think this is all of it, but banned substances. So this is going back a few years, like Spider Tack, if you remember that whole thing. So that was with Garrett Cole and Tyler Glasnow.
Yep.
I think, and it was also Trevor Bauer at the time, and then rosin and spit. But so a lot of guys just use something to grip the ball better. It's not all the time. Not everyone uses it, but most do. Mm-hmm. And so like with Glasnow, what happened with him is, I think this is 2 years ago now.
Yeah, he was still in Tampa Bay.
They took out these substances mid-year.
Sure.
So he's about to win the Cy Young. He's in the conversation at this point, and then they changed the rules.
Yeah.
So the way they grip the ball, different pressures, how hard they throw certain pitches changes literally everything.
Sure, the movement of the ball, how it comes off your hand, how hard you have to throw it off with your shoulder. Sure.
So that effectively, because I think it was his next start without Spider Tack.
It was banned or
got hurt. So that's one thing.
Interesting. I didn't think about that one.
Honestly, nowadays too, I have a quote. It's talking about speed and how much faster pitchers throw. So I think it was.
Oh, sure.
The average fastball rose from 91.9 in 2007 to 94.2 in 2023. So even though 94 doesn't seem that fast nowadays, that's 3 miles an hour over 16 years.
Yeah, and that's an average throughout baseball.
But
that's not just one pitcher.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's insane.
That means a lot of guys are throwing 97, 98.
Well, that means like a lot of guys even in high school are starting to touch 90.
100 Green threw over 100 in high school.
Yeah, that is true.
But
that's
I think I think it's increased velocity. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, your arm's just not built for it.
The human body is not meant for that.
And we've said that with my dad. First off, I'm going to say really quick, Vandermeer did throw, he not back-to-back days, 4 days apart from each other. He did throw no-hitters in 1938.
So you were right.
So I thought there was something. But my dad makes a good point. Who was the we always use him as an example. Pitcher for the last year for the Blue Jays was so good.
Barrios?
Yeah, no, not Barrios. Manoah.
Yeah.
And he's literally
awful.
Can't pitch. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You see some of these guys, I'm not picking on Alex Manoah at all. He just happens to be the first guy I kind of think of.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys go into spring training big.
Yeah.
And that's, again, no shot at him. He was a great pitcher, whether he was a bigger guy or not. I mean, he's also like 6'6". Like he's just a huge human being.
Big boy.
But it is interesting to see. Like last year you could use Ty France. A lot of people are like, he's not as in good shape as he was this year coming into. Like everyone was like, he is in outstanding shape. He's really focused on his body. Whether that is having kids or family life getting, or just the world of being a professional athlete gets in the way. A lot of these guys, I feel like, don't take it as seriously.
Oh yeah.
And I've joked with my dad and other friends and stuff. Like Russell Wilson, LeBron James come to mind when they're like, we spend $1 million on our body. Now, not like tattoos and getting, plastic surgery there, but nutritionists, working out, And LeBron James is 38 and still
top 10.
Arguably, yeah, probably a top 10 basketball player in the league right now, maybe 15, depending on how you want to put it. But he's up there. He's a very, very any team will take LeBron James. Still,
he
that's
will
how good
start on like
every team. Not every team. There's not one team they'll find a spot for him.
Yeah,
and so that's interesting to me too. Is when you look at baseballs, I think I agree with you. I didn't think about the grip and stuff like that. That does make and the velocity going up. So that just means arm work. So maybe that kind of falls into that overworked category. And again, baseball, I don't think they should change the rule and say like, 5 innings because that's a game or whatever,
that
a quality
is something
start.
They're talking about, which
that doesn't surprise me, and bring it down to like 4 innings. I personally think that's dumb because I would think of someone like Jamie Moyer can't throw hard at all, but you can listen to him in some interviews, and he throws these softball eephus pitches, and no one can hit him.
No,
and he pitched to what was he 50. Something?
He played on the Rockies in like 2012.
He was like 50. I think he was like 52 or 54 or something. He was so freaking old, and he
was very.
But that does come into your question. I think the pitch clock also.
He was 49.
He was 49.
He was 49.
I thought he touched 50. But I think, and I agree with you, and I didn't think about that. But I think like the speed of the game and the pitch clock also has a huge change now.
Yeah,
because. Some of these guys, they have their whole, I listen to Trevor Bauer all the time. He has got a YouTube channel. It's pretty funny. He will talk and say, we've done it this way since I was 14.
That's exactly what I was talking about Tyler Glass now.
Yeah. Like literally and now the whole thing's changed, especially with your timing and pitching and doing all this, that it just makes sense that you're going to get injured. I mean, if you change the game on someone that's been doing it the same way for so long, it's just going to... It's going to be a part of it. Yeah, it's going to be a part of it. And I think it's really sad because 257 pitchers on the IL right now is that's like 5 football teams, full football teams being out.
Yeah.
That shows you how many freaking baseball teams we have. Yeah, and then that shows you how many players play. But yeah, I didn't think about the grip and stuff. And I've always heard that like rosin bags and stuff, yes, like you give the spit and rosin bags, the sweat and rosin bags definitely can help.
They can still use it too. So that's the only thing that was really banned is spider tack.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what they can do, but I think it's a big bummer when to me, I always have said right now with the way baseball is, it'd be way more exciting to see like a no-hitter or a perfect game. Now obviously a perfect game, not like I've been blessed to see when I saw Felix's live. Unreal. There's only been 28 of them or something like that. There's not been very many.
No.
Some teams have never had one, and some teams had 2 or 3, probably the Yankees, because screw them. But I find that interesting because if you're gonna, you got to juice up these bats, or you got to, figure out a better way to make sure that you're not losing the best pitchers in baseball. Because a lot of these guys that are hurt are not just
Oh yeah, no.
Shohei Ohtani, Clayton Kershaw was really good last year, and he's obviously we know that he's getting older. You said Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber's hurt.
Spencer Strider, I think.
Yeah, Tyler Glass now. These are not like someone just a Mariners fan or someone just that's a Rockies fan knows.
Yeah,
these are like all-star caliber names. So it'll be interesting.
Sandy Alcantara, I'm almost positive was in the run, not last year, but this year. A lot of people talk about him winning the Cy Young.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, I mean, he's out.
Yeah.
I mean, Shane Bieber has won a few Cy Youngs. Verlander, a few Cy Youngs. Strider, I think.
Verlander's a hard one to me. Like Verlander and Kershaw,
I was going
to say, they're just also getting up there, which doesn't help their cause. Their bodies just
Walker Buehler's not that old. Yeah. Bobby Miller was a rookie last year.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, then this is interesting. I'm just thinking off the top of my head because I mentioned his name. Do you think someone should bring in Trevor Bauer?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I'm just curious.
Too. I mean, he's a personality, though. That besides everything that went on.
Well, it's brutal to say that because I feel like, yes, he was accused of things, but everything was, I believe, after everything was
false accusations, which really sucked.
Yeah, because he was on the Dodgers. He would probably have a ring or 2 by now. He was in the prime of his career. He's still very good. I mean, he lit up the Yankees in spring training this year, down in Mexico or whatever.
He's still really good.
Yeah,
I think he deserves a chance, but
I get the politics behind it, but I also think that if you're going down the stretch and I don't know, he's staying in shape. It's not like he's not pitching all the time. He's trying to figure it out and get back in there. I know he went over to Japan, I think last year, and was to Japan or Korea. Maybe Korea.
He did well.
He
whatever
pretty
team
darn
it was,
good still.
He did start off kind of rough.
So
he got a lot better.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I always kind of wonder that with all the injuries and stuff. Yeah, I get call. I'm always a big fan of like call up a young guy, give him a couple chances, maybe see what he can do, whatever. We have that with Hancock, and we have Bryce Miller, who's been very good for us. Brian Wu. We have all these young guys, and you're giving them chances, and they're starting. You got to let them kind of get their butt kicked to get back up. But then I also think Trevor Bauer's been there, done that. He has a Cy Young, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was with the Reds.
I was going to say.
So I think he was only there for like 1 or 2 years, then signed obviously the big contract with the Dodgers. But
yeah, brutal.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because he's really, in my opinion, would have been a top 10 starter for the next couple of years.
Oh, easily.
So
yeah, if he could stay healthy. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It's fun to listen to him. If you don't know his YouTube, you should listen to him when he talks through his pitching routines and what he does. It's very entertaining. Yeah, he's a very good pitcher.